Hey, hey. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. Hope you're having a great morning. Hope things are going well for you. Good morning, good morning. Thanks for joining in. Good morning. We're going to do a quick scope this morning. Hey, how you doing? Hey, good morning. Good morning, Jacqueline. Good morning. Hope y'all are doing well. Good morning to you. And if you're going to watch this on replay, good afternoon or good evening. And so thank you so much. I'm glad that you enjoyed the teaching. And so I'm going to jump right into it. Good morning. Hey, Robert. Good morning, sir. Hey, I appreciate you all jumping on. We're going to do a quick scope. I want to talk to you about self-respect. I posted this on Instagram this morning, talking about becoming the best you. Hey, greetings from Rhode Island. What's up? What's up? I posted this on Instagram this morning. Many people will treat you based on how you treat yourself. And this thing is important, and let me tell you why it's important. I'm going to set my timer because we're going to do this in 9 minutes. So I'm going to tell you why this is important. Many people will treat you based on how you treat yourself. Treat yourself like trash and other people will join in. I am a big believer and big proponent of this, that you can train others to treat you better. Now, Thursday today is our trash day in our neighborhood, and so we take out the trash. My middle son Jordan is really good and diligent at taking out the trash, and so we have the trash bin and we have the recycle bin that we take out to the curb, and so the trash people, recycle people could pick it up, right? And so you all probably have the same. And so check this out, that even when we forget to do it, maybe I hop in my car and I'm about to drive down the street, but what happens is as I notice other people have put out their trash, their recycling on the recycling day and the trash day, I notice that, hey, it's trash day. And I'm reminded to do it because others are doing it. And like if we have a holiday, let's say we have a holiday on a Monday, we have a Labor Day, then the day gets pushed back. And so instead of them collecting on Thursday, they collect on Friday. So if I put it out and then I have the days mixed up, I can look around and see everybody else hasn't put theirs out. And I'm reminded, oh, wait. Today's not the day yet to put out trash. And so because of the behavior of others, I am influenced to do one thing or another. So check this out. I believe that we can draw something similar and a conclusion similar. So as other people are putting out trash, I notice them and I put out my trash. So I believe that people like to join in. And when people see other people treating you wrong and treating you like garbage, they'll think it's okay and they'll think that that's their notification to be able to join in and treat you the same way. But when people try to treat you wrong and they notice that that's not okay, that's not allowed, and nobody else is treating you wrong, and then they'll know that that's their notification that, wait a minute, I can't treat you any kind of way. And I believe that it's important for you because self-respect is so important. It is so important. Check this out. Invite some people to the scope real quick. We got 8 minutes left. Invite some people out to the scope. Some followers, Twitter, Facebook. You can swipe up on Android. Swipe to the side if you're on Apple, Team Apple. I got Apple myself. Invite some people to the scope because I'm going to tell you about 3 points of self-respect. Here we go. Here's a practical example about self-respect before I get into it. So what I'm talking about self-respect is I'm talking about what you allow people to do to you and talk to you. I'm talking about how you see and how you view yourself. Here's an example of not having self-respect. When you have other people who are dissing you constantly, and as you allow them to diss you, it invites other people to diss you. But here's where it starts. Have you ever met somebody who is always down on themselves? That's like, oh man, I can't never do anything right. I'm terrible. I'm ugly. I'm stupid. I can't do anything. I'm such a klutz. And you know what's interesting about that is when they keep saying that, it automatically trains you to behave and it trains you to treat them the same way. And you might be a great person, good Christian person, you walk in love, so you're like, okay, I'm not going to do that. But a lot of people, they might not be like that. And they see as you are treating yourself a certain way, they think that that's their indicator of how they should see and how they should treat you. You are training people to see you a certain way. So here's the 3 steps about self-respect. 1, you have to train others on how to treat you. This is massively important. You have to train others on how to treat you, because sometimes people don't know how to treat you, especially if they don't know you. Maybe they just met you, or maybe they just heard about you. They don't know how to treat you. And so check this out. And I see that question. I'm going to get to it. Natasha, I'm going to get to it. Hold that question. So they don't know how to treat you. And so you have to train them how to treat you. I tell the young girls, so I work with youth. And so I tell the young girls, I say, don't let these guys treat you any kind of way. And I know it can work with guys too. But I say, don't let these girls or these guys, don't let these guys treat you any kind of way. Because if they know that they can treat you any kind of way, then they will. And we don't want them to do that, right? We don't want them to let you, treat them any kind of way. And so what I tell them is make sure to have enough respect for yourself that you train them on how to treat you. I'll give you an example. If you got some girl in high school, and she lets guys smack her on the booty or grab her booty. Now, she might think that's fun, that's playful. But what happens is, for those teenage guys, they are being trained on how she's allowing them to treat her. And so, as they're being trained, they're going to think that, wait a minute, it's okay for me to touch your body. It's okay for me to touch your body even without your permission. And so what happens is sometimes, unfortunately, those young girls now get in these situations where something much more serious happens. And I'm not saying young girls, all of them invited on themselves. I'm not saying that. But for the purposes of this example, you might have a situation where a young girl gets molested or raped. A girl in high school, she gets molested or raped. But sometimes, we have to be wise enough and understanding enough to know that, wait a minute, we train people on how to treat us. There's a couple girls I know specifically that I've been working with them on training guys how to treat them, setting boundaries, what's okay, what's not okay. So you have to train others on how to treat you, because they don't know. And sometimes if they have lower standards, or they come from a background where they can just talk any kind of way, they can do any kind of thing, you got to tell them, not today, not with this one. You can't talk to me. You can't say anything any kind of way you want to. So that's the first step. You have to train people on how to treat you. Number 2, people will do what you allow, so you must set boundaries. Boundaries is the key word. Number 2, you must set boundaries, because people will do anything that they feel like they can get away with. For example, you have to let others know what they can and cannot do. My wife was really instrumental in helping me understand that it is important to set boundaries with people, because she had some instances with some people who she had to learn how to set boundaries. And I really didn't understand this until I met her, and she really taught me about this, that she said, people can't just treat you any kind of way. And I was like, what are you talking about? People can't treat you any kind of way. And I learned that when people would start talking in a way that was disrespectful to her, she would actually dismiss them from the conversation, and she would dismiss herself from the conversation. And she taught me how to dismiss people politely from the conversation if they start trying to treat you in a way that is not okay. And so I learned that. I said, wait a minute. So I don't have to settle for anything. I don't have to let people talk any kind of way to me. And I've had to do that sometimes. Like, look, you can't talk this way to me, not because I think I'm more important than you, but I have more self-respect for myself than that. So I don't have to entertain this kind of slander. I don't have to entertain you name calling me. I don't even have to entertain you cussing me out. Just because you're talking and you're talking at me doesn't mean I have to receive it, because my standard of self-respect is higher than that. So I've dismissed people. Some people don't like us. This isn't the conversation that we're going to have. And so, never allow yourself to be trampled upon. Exactly. And so that's important. So step number 2, set boundaries. People will do what you allow. Number 3, you can't respect yourself if you don't like yourself. Massively important. You have got to like yourself. Now, this is important because self-esteem can be based on a viewpoint or a positive opinion. Like I have a positive opinion of myself. And so that's really where self-esteem comes from. But self-respect is actually based on acceptance. It's based on accepting yourself regardless of opinion. So the key to self-respect means that I like myself based on who I am, not based on what I can do. That's important. We're not talking about self-esteem. We're talking about self-respect. I like myself based on who I am, not because of what I can do. Just based on who I am. I'm accepting myself at face value. Not because I'm good at something. I'm not looking at if I'm bad at something. I am looking at myself at face value. I have respect for myself because I like myself. And that's very important. You can't have self-respect for yourself if you don't like yourself. And so that's the first step. You got to like yourself in order to have self-respect. And a lot of times, you see sometimes people in a situation, I'll take an abusive relationship. And people will stay in abusive relationships a lot of times because they don't have much self-respect for themselves. Well, why don't they have self-respect? Because if you get down to the core of it, if you really start examining how they view themselves, they don't like themselves. And they keep other people around to try to validate them liking themselves. But nobody can like yourself for you. You have to like yourself, and that's exactly. The Bible tells us to love ourselves. Love our neighbor as ourselves, but we can't love other people if we don't love ourselves. So we have got to love and like and respect ourselves first, or other people cannot follow. If we do not set the tone for others to like, to love us, to respect us, then we are not giving any example for others to follow. That's it right there. Boom, and my time's done. First of all, you got to train others how to treat you. Second of all, people will do what you allow, so you got to set boundaries. Third, you can't respect yourself if you don't like yourself. Boom, there it is. So I'm here to tell you that many people will treat you based on how you treat yourself. And if you treat yourself like trash, other people will join in. So I had a question. Tasha, you had a question about social media. So what if people aren't digging it on social media? So, people's opinions are what they are. And, we're in the age where, hey, people have access to us on social media, especially those of you all who have public accounts. But you know what? We have that wonderful feature called block. And, I have actually, I haven't had to block a lot of people, but I have had to block some people. And you know what? If they don't see things like I see it, hey, that's fine. That's okay. You're open to your opinion. But what I do is I don't feed it, and I don't continue to allow them an audience with me. And so not because I think I'm so much more better or important with them, but I don't allow an audience. Sometimes I do delete the comment. Sometimes I find that that's what's necessary for me. Sometimes I don't. Like, let's say on Twitter, and somebody's kind of just going sideways on Twitter, I'll just block them, and then their comments are usually removed from me seeing it. And so I think the most important thing to remember in social media is you don't have to allow everybody to have an audience with you. If people don't understand, then hey, that's fine. That's their thing. They don't understand. First time viewer, hey, how you doing? Then they don't understand. But just because they don't agree, that doesn't give them the right to play down me, to come and try to tear me down. That's okay to be able to disagree with me. That's all right. I'm not scared of people disagreeing with my opinion. But you won't tear me down because you disagree with me. And that's where people have a challenge sometimes. That's what I try to teach our sons, is that you can disagree with the person without trying to tear down. You can disagree with the opinion without trying to tear down the person. Those are two separate things. Me disagreeing with your opinion and then me trying to tear you down as a person. And that's what I don't allow. I allow people to disagree with my opinion. I will not allow people to tear me down as a person. Boom. So, Father used to tell me you have the right to negotiate any relationship based on respect. Hey, that's good. That's good. So I hope that you all got something from this. We made it a quick scope. I appreciate all the love and encouragement. Thank you so much for all of that. And make sure to share this with somebody else. I believe that this will bless somebody else. If this is your first time, make sure to follow so you don't miss any of these Becoming the Best You scopes. I believe that self-respect, among other things, makes you better, and that we are God's creation. We are not meant to disrespect ourselves, and think about this, neither should you disrespect God's creation. God has made you special, unique as his masterpiece. He didn't make you as a defect. He made you on purpose, the way you are. Doesn't mean that we don't get better, but it does mean that we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves. We should think enough of ourselves to respect God's creation, right? And so how can we connect to bring you info? Okay. So if you want to connect, always you can connect with me on Twitter, on Instagram, DavidSWinston. Hit me up. Also, if you're looking to invite me to some little speaking engagement or something, go to goheartforchrist.com. and then you can click on the Meet Pastor David subtab, and from that subtab there's some booking info if you want to send us some info. But you can always reach out to me on Twitter, Instagram. I'm really responsive, and so if you want to get me that way, I can send you the direct link, and that way we can connect that way. So make sure to follow if you haven't. Thank you so much if you're viewing. This is your first time. Make sure to share this with somebody else. It'll encourage them to have self-respect. You're welcome. And so thank you for logging on. Have a great day. Make sure to train others to treat you the right way. And hey, even if they don't let it ruin your day. Only you can dictate if you're going to have a good day. It depends on your attitude, your outlook, your perspective. So have a great one. We'll do it again later.